Here we are again in my little kitchen in Lecce in the south of Italy. My name is Francesco and today I'm going to make a very simple couscous salad which I'm going to serve with asparagus and hard-boiled egg. For the couscous I'm going to make a simple broth using carrot, celery, spring onion and ginger, which I'm going to finely chop, and then I'm going to let the couscous steep in that hot broth for 10 to 15 minutes till it's ready. I'll add some cherry tomatoes and rucola at the end and serve everything up with a nice sprinkle of fresh thyme, so it's going to be a wonderful springtime dish. Very healthy and colourful and easy to make. So I hope you enjoy the recipe. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below and do subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Let's cook. For today's recipe you are going to need asparagus, couscous, ginger, carrot, celery and spring onion, cherry tomatoes, rucola, egg, fresh thyme, good extra virgin olive oil and a little vinegar. Okay, so how do you know where the asparagus starts to become a little bit tougher towards the end? Just bend it slightly, and where it snaps all by itself, you know the top part is then the most tender. As for the bottom, we're going to cut it into very small pieces, and the rest we're going to cut on a diagonal like so. The smaller pieces we will boil in the broth with the other vegetables, and the top part we will blanch just slightly, and then we'll add that towards the end. So the asparagus is done, we can set that to one side and move on with the carrot. As you can see, I only needed a very small carrot, or half of a regular one. Cut this into a very fine dice. The next thing that we're going to dice very finely is about 1/3 of a stick of celery. Moving on, we're going to do the same thing, chop very finely a spring onion. The last ingredient we're going to need to make our broth is about 3 slices of ginger. Cut away the peel and cut this into a fine dice too. With the ginger finely chopped, the last ingredient that we need to prepare is some cherry tomatoes. Simply cut these into small pieces, like so. Now we're ready to cook. We need to simply hard boil our egg, and in a frying pan I like to heat up water and add a good pinch of salt and then blanch the asparagus. I'm using about twice the amount of water as I want to cook couscous. So I want to make a cupful of couscous, I have 2 cups of water. Blanch the asparagus just for a minute or so until it changes colour, as you can see, and then set it to one side. Then into the boiling salted water I can add the other finely chopped vegetables which are going to create our broth. You could of course use a vegetable stock, but I think it's much nicer to get the flavour from fresh vegetables and have them as part of the salad as well. They need to cook for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then you can add the couscous on top. Give this a quick stir, turn off the heat, then put on the lid and let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes until it becomes nice and light and fluffy. In the meantime, we can crack our hard-boiled egg, cut that in half and prepare it, ready to put everything together. By now the couscous is ready and nice and fluffy. The reason I like to use a frying pan is because you have a larger surface area for the steam to cook the couscous and also to escape when it's ready. Now that the couscous is ready, we can add the asparagus. I set the tips to one side to add decoratively later. Add the cherry tomatoes, and now we're going to add a little bit of seasoning. We're going to need a good pinch of salt for the tomatoes which haven't been seasoned, plenty of freshly ground black pepper, a nice splash of white wine vinegar, you could also use lemon juice, and a drizzle of your best extra virgin olive oil. Finishing touch is going to be some fresh thyme, which we're going to pluck straight in, and then give everything a good stir through, and we'll be ready to serve. Of course you don't need to do this, but I decided to use a ring to serve the couscous a little bit more decoratively. Fill it into the ring, press it down into shape, then remove the ring like so, and there you have your couscous. Now you can add the rucola, and then we can go ahead and add the asparagus tips on top. This is a little bit fiddly, but if I can do it, so can you. Then add your hard-boiled egg, and when you feel brave enough, add the second one too. Give it a sprinkle of thyme, a little bit more salt and pepper, some good extra virgin olive oil, and then you're ready to knock down your tower and to enjoy. It's absolutely delicious. Buon appetito!